Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have a brand new cake recipe for you guys and I'm really excited about this one. You can actually find a version of this cake in my European Cake Cookbook. I'm going to be making my caramel banana Banoffee cake. This cake is just bursting with so much incredible flavors. I'm going to start out with some delicate pecan cake layers and then assemble the cake with dulce de leche, sliced bananas, my cream cheese frosting, and some homemade caramel sauce on top. This cake is just so delicious. So many amazing, incredible flavors. You guys are going to love it. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down in the video description box. Meanwhile, let's get started. I'm going to show you just how fun and easy this cake is to make. And I'm going to get this recipe started with the pecan cake layers first. So into a large mixing bowl, I'm going to add all of my wet ingredients and my sugar. So I have 1 cup of buttermilk, and buttermilk is so great for cakes. It just makes them really light and fluffy. I'm also going to be adding 3/4 cups of cooking oil. You can use any type of light cooking oil, canola, vegetable, avocado, even a light olive oil would work great for this. Pour that right in. Next up, we have 4 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And I'm going to grab my hand mixer and mix this for just a couple minutes until the eggs are well beaten. And now for my dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm going to be adding in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just mix that all together. And then I'm going to sift the dry ingredients into my cake batter. And you always want to do this whenever you're baking. Otherwise, you can get clumps in your cake batter and that won't be good. I'm going to grab my handy mixer again and mix this for about a minute on low speed until all that flour is incorporated. And for my final ingredient, I have 1 cup of chopped pecans. Going to add those in and then just gently fold those in with my spatula. And this cake batter is all done. I've lined 3 8-inch cake pans with parchment paper. You can also use this recipe with 2 9-inch cake pans. I'm going to divide this batter evenly. You can just scoop it in there or you can use a kitchen scale for more accuracy. And I like to use the back of a spoon and spread that batter evenly to the edges so you have a nice even cake layer. And my cake layers are ready to go into my preheated oven. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 26 to 28 minutes until they're golden brown on top. Take them out of the oven and let them cool completely at room temperature. While these cakes are cooling, it's the perfect time to make the frosting and the caramel sauce for these. So I'm going to be using my 5-ingredient cream cheese frosting. It's a super easy recipe. That frosting is so creamy and it's going to be perfect for this cake. And I'm also going to be using my homemade caramel sauce, also another super easy recipe. That caramel is so delicious. I use it for so many of my recipes. You guys are going to love it. So go ahead and check those out and then we'll come back to assemble and decorate this cake. My pecan cake layers have cooled completely and now I'm going to grab a long serrated knife. I'm just going to level off the top just slightly, just so that I have a more even work surface. And now it's time to put together our Banoffee cake. My cake layers have cooled, I've leveled them off. I have my cream cheese frosting. I prepared it yesterday and I placed it into the refrigerator. And then I took it out a couple hours ago, just let it stand at room temperature to soften back up so it'll be ready to use. And I'll be using my salted caramel sauce for spreading onto the cake layers. Now a traditional Banoffee cake would use a dulce de leche. This sauce is really great. It's a little bit on the thicker side, but it's really going to flow into all those little nooks and crannies in the cake. You're gonna have so much incredible caramel sauce. So I'm gonna pour some of that on, and you'll see what I mean by thick. It's just super, super thick. It's going to be so delicious in this cake. You want a nice amount of caramel with every single bite. Next, I'm going to top it off with a generous amount of my cream cheese frosting. I'm going to grab a spatula and spread that evenly to the edges. And now we're ready to add the banana. So I sliced up a few bananas, and you want to make sure you have nice thin slices. And then we're just going to layer it right onto the cake. I'm going to start from the outside and work my way in. And then we're going to top this off with our next cake layer. And then for my last cake layer, I actually spread the caramel onto the cake layer first, and then I'm going to invert it like so. And this way, I have some caramel on the cake layer, but it won't be on top, so it won't mess up my frosting. And now it's time to frost the top and sides of this cake. I'm going to add a thin layer of crumb coating first. And once I have my crumb coat done, I'm actually going to set this cake into the refrigerator for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back to add our final layer of frosting. I've applied a nice and thick layer of my cream cheese frosting onto the cake, and next I'm going to use this decorative cake scraper to create a design on the sides. I'm going to include a product link for this up on my website along with the recipe. So you want to make sure you have a nice thick layer of that frosting first, and then we're going to go around the sides. And now for garnishing the top of the cake, I'm going to arrange some sliced bananas on top, and then we're going to drizzle the top with my homemade caramel sauce. And my caramel sauce was a little bit on the thicker side this time, so I just placed it in the microwave for about 30 seconds to soften it up. We're gonna create little drizzles down the side of the cake. This is gonna look so pretty. And I'm going to add some diced pecans on top, and this cake is ready to be enjoyed. And now for the most exciting part, let's cut into this cake and see what it looks like on the inside. I can't wait to enjoy this. I just love caramel cake so much. And check this out. Isn't that stunning? I absolutely love the layers of the caramel and the banana in there, and then the pecan cake layers are so stunning. This is going to be really, really good. And that's it, guys, for my caramel banana Banoffee cake. I absolutely love how this cake turned out with the decorative frosting on the sides and then the caramel drip that's still kind of oozing down the sides. For the full recipe, make sure to head on down in the video description box. I'll have everything up on my website. I'll also include links down there for my 5-ingredient cream cheese frosting and for my homemade caramel sauce. Both of those are just really fantastic recipes. Time to dig in and enjoy, and I cannot wait. I love combination of the banana with the pecans, some cream cheese frosting. I get a little bit of everything. Time to dig in. Oh. If you guys love banana bread, you are gonna be head over heels in love with this Banoffee cake. It is so incredibly delicious. It tastes like an elevated version of banana nut bread. So you have those delicate pecan cake layers, which are so good, and then the layers of caramel and the fresh bananas, and then that cream cheese frosting is the perfect complement to everything. Kind of brings all those layers and the fillings together. If you guys love bananas and caramel, this cake is for you. It is so incredibly delicious, bursting with flavor in every single bite. I know I'm going to finish off the rest of the slice because it is so darn good. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down in the video description box, and I hope you guys enjoy this recipe at home. If you ever do make any of my creations, feel free to share those recipes with me on Instagram or Facebook. All of my accounts are under Tatyana's Everyday Food. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.